Well, fair enough, though. Can we all look forward to you streaming it?
No, probably not.
If someone gets me a copy of it, I'll do it.
A 16-year-old sophomore in Illinois was ordered by a judge to cease playing violent video games. This came after he posted a video on Snapchat of him playing violent video games and threatening, quote, "Y'all need to shut up about school shootings or I'll do one." The judge in the case said, quote, "You can play Mario Kart all you want."
That's just going to turn him in even
Actually,
faster
Mario
into a
Kart's pretty
shooter.
violent, though. You throw shells and bombs and you explode people? I don't know.
There's a reason it's one of the games that ends friendships.
I listen, I'm going to kind of side with the judge on this one. Don't post dumb shit like that on social media. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no,
Dummies.
Yeah, definitely
Dummies.
this
Dummy.
kid, something needs to be done about him. So he posted that on his Snapchat. Schoolmate obviously called the cops. They, brought him in and blah, 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 and stuff like that. But, I mean, okay, telling him not to play violent video games, like, what's that going to do, really?
I mean, at this point, because he's already old enough and he has his opinions, I don't think his continuation of playing violent video games will make a difference in the long run at this point in his life.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't know.
has anyone ever been barred from watching violent movies?
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
because,
like-
they don't actually...
In a legal sense. Because, I mean, like, before video games, there were other scapegoats in media. So has anyone ever been ordered to listen to nothing but Frank Sinatra records?
Is this even something that you can enforce beyond, like, telling the parents, like, you need to ground him off video games?
That's actually a very good question.
That's
But if he's ever
the
caught, like,
bigger
anyone could
question.
probably turn him in, like his friends, his parents, anybody, and he could get in big ass trouble.
How do you enforce that? Like, where's the law though, or in the law? Like, what is that under? What are you violating by?
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I saw you on PSN last night, and it said that you were playing Fortnite.
Okay, it's probably the judge gave him like a choice. Like, okay, so you can either not play violent video games anymore, or we can just ship you off to jail. Which would you rather do? You rather not play violent video games, or not play violent video games and also be in jail?
Okay, I'm going to choose the video games, and then when I go home, I'm going to play Fallout 4 and blow people up.
Or I mean, go home and watch Rambo First Blood. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's
I
the
mean-
difference? What's the fucking difference at that point? Hell, watch an Avengers movie and tell me that that's not fucking violent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Part of
it
the difference,
is.
I think, though, is the immersion of playing the character who's actually doing the actions. I think that's at least where it comes from the judge's
No.
mind.
Well, yeah, yes. I understand from the judge's point of view, or from anyone who thinks that games and movies and music cause violence. I get that from that point of view. But a random judge in a courtroom telling you when you go home you can't play video games anymore, how is that enforceable?
I mean, he would have to be on the parents and
Yeah,
the people in his life.
Okay, right. So basically he's been grounded. How many of us have been grounded and totally did what we were supposed to do? And
Yeah, but
stuck
he's
to it?
grounded forever.
Oh,
Eh,
that's the difference.
I mean,
Forever.
forever is I don't know. It's a little subjective.
I don't know. Just to me, this whole thing is kind of weird, and I don't even know how to really respond to it.
It definitely is weird. I mean, how do you?
I mean, I guess if you're caught, though, you'd get fined. You'd get sent to jail for doing it. So I guess you don't want to risk getting caught by someone.
I
but-
mean, because there is also the distinction of, like, he's like, play as much Mario Kart as you want. Like, either ban, take someone away from video games altogether, or because it just does seem really unenforceable.
Here's something to where I think this would make a lot more sense. If yes, they took all video games away, confiscated them from the premise, and then put him under some kind of house arrest. That way, you can't leave to go get more video games, and at least in a sense, I just feel like that's more in line with some type of actual punishment that's maybe covered by the law. Just the idea that, no, you can't play no more violent video games seems so arbitrary.
What was the duration that, like, how long can he not play video games for?
I don't know that it gave a duration. Let me double check here really quick, though.
I mean, because that seems like, okay, for 2 years, yeah, you can probably...
Until you're an adult, basically.
Yeah, you can probably keep up on that. But I mean, yeah, it does raise questions on whether or not it's enforceable. But then again, at the same time, like, the kid was making vague threats over Instagram.
No, you
He
definitely have to
he
take
said
it
dumb.
seriously.
Well, but he said dumb shit over social media, which is something that happens all the fucking time. So, like, I guess there's also a question of like, does the punishment fundamentally fit the crime? Like, does taking away violent video games from him deter him from another violent action?
No, I don't think so. Or if it was something he was going to do, like I think Nika sort of brought this point up a little bit. And no, I think banning isn't going to necessarily stop anything that would have already been set in motion. A few more details here. The police did search the boy's home, turned up no weapons. The parent said they didn't keep any weapons at home, and the judge had ordered him to turn over his phone to his parents and banned him from playing violent video games.
Yeah,
That's it.
that seems fairly unenforceable.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
And a little weird. I mean, like, I don't know.
I mean, it was in Illinois.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it literally just sounds like this judge grounded him.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, obviously the parents can't do a good enough job, so judge has to step in.
Well, wait, hang on, hang on. Let's not jump all over the parents, because what actually happened here? He was playing something violent, filmed himself on Instagram, and said, if y'all don't shut up about school shootings, I'm going to do one. Okay? Like, that's the sequence of events. Think of how easy it is to do that. Like, acquiring a cache of weapons and making plans, like, there's a lot that's involved in that. You know what I mean? Like, there's that kid in Florida, right? Like, there's a lot of points where
He should have been stopped
right,
or caught.
right, okay? Like, this kid did a dumb thing over social media. How much dumb shit have you done in front of a camera in your life?
Now, before you answer that, think to every single Sunday you come and sit down in that exact spot.
But I mean, like, dude, I think back, because when I was growing up, Jackass was a huge was a huge thing, and so me and my friends, like you're like, when you hear about it as an adult, like, you go, oh yeah, kids copy what they see on TV. And, when you're growing up, you're like, yeah, no, I didn't do any of that. No, fuck that. We tried to replicate Jackass stunts, like, almost on a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay?
Oh, I can tell you, I see it all the time as a teacher. Like, even the small kids, like, even if from anything from the words, the vocabulary, the actions, like, even just hearing kids use catchphrases from Ninja Turtles and, like, all these little things that pick up. And, like, especially if you have kids with any kind of disorder or disability, like, I hear kids with autism completely replicating really scary things that they hear on television. And, it's really hard to decide then where the lines are, but it's 100% the kids copy everything. Like, not only do they copy things they see on TV, but they copy the adults around them. They copy everything.
But if I had
that's what kids do.
If I had the ability to instantly broadcast all of that dumb shit that I did when I was a kid, like, there's a good chance I'd either be in jail or that I'd be halfway Facebook famous,
Grounded forever.
like Steve-O for swallowing goldfish. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been something fucking retarded. And if that's what you get known for, that's what you keep trying to outpace yourself. And that's why all of the Jackass dudes are either in rehab or dead or, in rehab. Like, that seems to be one of the two paths for Jackass stars, is rehab or the grave. And like, I'm thankful, because we did dumb shit in front of cameras, but I'm thankful that we didn't have the ability to easily broadcast
Instantly upload
that.
from your phone, boom, it's on the internet.
Because you don't even, a lot of times you don't even think about it, or you do it and then you think about it after you've done it. You know what I mean? And that's much more likely in this case. Now, I see getting violent video games taken away not as a way to curb his behavior, because I don't think he had very much violent behavior that the courts could try to claim. He didn't have weapons. He wasn't acting out.
Planning anything.
Right. It was a dumb moment over social media. So taking away violent video games seems much more like a punishment. When you frame it like that, then it makes sense. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Take that dumbass's entertainment away. Because if you can't be responsible with it, get the fuck off until you learn how to be responsible with it. I mean, look, dude, media training and just being taught how to interact with media is something that schools have been putting off for way too long. You know, I got a really good media education growing up, care of a teacher named Dr. Learmont, who I had in high school, who taught the basics of media. Not how to make media, but how to responsibly consume media. And I still, to this day, as a 33-year-old adult, think that may have been the most important class that I ever took growing up in school.
You know, when you frame it, some of it that way, I guess the situation itself really isn't that weird, but I guess just the way the whole thing was framed, or maybe it's because of the way that we're currently looking at gun violence and stuff. It seems smaller in comparison. I don't know. All right, well, each their own, I suppose. Much to everyone's surprise, Outlast suddenly appeared on the Nintendo Switch this week. The 2013 horror title from Red